about 56 people judicially hanged from this building.
Please show yourself. Oh.
Mainly taken on a cart. You would have the rope around your neck and the rope wrapped around your body so that the crowd could identify you as the star performer. A figure, a grey haze, the shape of a person. It glided past this cut-out window that I have where the kitchen is while I stood on the phone, not corner of the eye, staring straight at it.
This felt like it moved. Hang on. I want to show you with the candle. This bench felt like it moved, like someone sat beside me.
From full apparitions to poltergeist activity, it's all been reported here in a building where people were kept until they were taken outside and publicly executed in front of crowds of thousands of people. And tonight, I'll be sleeping in the condemned man's cell here in Derby Gaol.
I'm in Derby, a city in the heart of England. Today it is a modern urban area, but below some of these buildings are a reminder of its dark past. I'm spending the night alone inside of the old jail on Friargate, which is now owned by TV historian Richard Felix.
This is the second of 3 county jails that we had in Derby. We had 5 jails in total. 2 town jails, 3 county jails. This was built in 1756. It was a place of terror, death, pain, anguish, torture. When it opened in 1756, there was no segregation in here. Old and young, male or female, tried or untried, sane or insane, were actually put together in the cells. You'd be murdered for the coat off your back. It was just as all prisons were in those days, terrible place. But the fascinating thing is that this was a jail, not a prison, at the beginning. And so you were only held here until punishment was meted out after the trial. So there were 4 trials a year, spring, summer, autumn and winter. So if you missed the summer assizes, you were kept here for 3 months until the autumn assizes.
It wasn't just the worst criminals that came here. In the 18th century, the Bloody Code was imposed on Britain as a way of deterring petty crimes by handing down the death penalty for lesser offences.
You could be hanged for, you think of it, stealing a sheep, stealing a cow, shop breaking, house breaking, burglary, rape, attempted rape, murder, attempted murder, setting fire to haystacks. 4 guys hanged in front of this building in 1817 for setting fire to a haystack. In the same year, 3 men hanged and beheaded. It was the last rebellion in England. They were supposedly traitors. They were sentenced to be hanged, drawn and quartered, but the Prince Regent commuted the drawing and quarter, which was jolly nice of him. So they hanged them for half an hour and then beheaded them with an axe. It's the last beheading with an axe in Great Britain, which took place in front of this building in 1817.
Of course, Derby had its fair share of killers too. Notorious highwayman William Buxton has carved his name here. 16-year-old Hannah Bocking was hanged here and dissected for poisoning her friend after she murdered her whilst visiting the gibbet of Anthony Lingard, who was also hanged here the year before. I'm here on Friday the 16th of April 2021, which is the anniversary of the hanging of William Rose, who was executed for stealing a horse.
About 56 people judicially hanged from this building, mainly taken on a cart from this building to the county gallows at the top of a hill in Derby, at the top of a place called Normanton Road. You would have the rope around your neck and the rope wrapped around your body so that the crowd could identify you as the star performer. Because of course all executions in this country were public. until 1868. It was a public day out. They brought the kids, sat the kids on the shoulders. Dad had them on the shoulders so they get a better view. You would be sitting on the coffin that you made for yourself in this prison of any old scrap wood that you could get. The executioner would be with you. When you arrived at the gallows, and all it was a football goal, the cart was parked underneath, and that was your stage. That's where you entertained the crowd. The rope was tightened around your neck, the white cap pulled over your face, and someone just hit the backside of the horse, and the horse pulled away, and you gently went off the back of the wagon, off the cart. It could take you usually about a quarter of an hour to die.
On the morning of your execution, you would be taken to this room where it was your final chance to say goodbye to your family and loved ones, whether it be your children, your wife, maybe your parents. This was a scene of such emotion and final goodbyes.
I've investigated haunted jails before. Jedburgh Jail in Scotland, Jimmy Allen's Bar in Durham, which was the former Elvet Jail. But why are these places so full of ghosts when the spirits should now be free?
So it's a case of you knew full well you weren't going to get in through those pearly gates. Well, I'm certainly not going to burn in hell, thank you very much. I'll stay here, thank you. That's one of the reasons why all jails, but Derby Gaol especially, but all of them are haunted. Because these guys have stayed behind. Because they're terrified of divine retribution, hellfire and damnation. And of course this place is extremely haunted. I mean, it's always had a pedigree of hauntings, even back when it was a nightclub, even back to when it was a jail. Because all over the doors of this jail, scratched on the doors, on the outside of the doors, this is by the prisoners, on the outside with knives, used to scratch apotropaic marks. That's Greek for no entry. They were terrified then of evil. They're called witch marks. And they were actually, in other words, this place was haunted when it was a jail. And they were terrified of evil spirits coming into the doors, into their cells. So they would scratch double V. There was no such thing as a W. There was no such thing as a U in the alphabet in those days. It was a V. But double V, was Virgin of Virgins. Mary, mother of Jesus. And that's a witch mark to stop evil coming in through the doors. They also would put a saltire, a St Andrew's cross, barring entry of evil coming in through those doors. So they were terrified of ghosts then. This was haunted even when there were inmates in this prison, and of course they were probably more frightened of ghosts then than we are now.
There are many ghosts still said to linger around this old jail, and some have been caught on camera, and even others in the middle of the daytime.
One of Derby Gaol's best known apparitions was seen by its owner, Richard Felix, who was working behind this kitchen right here. He was on the phone at the time, and he looked through this very window and saw a grey shape, human-like shape, walk straight through here where I'm walking. Interestingly, this passage is the exact route prisoners would have been taken to be executed on the other side of that door. Could this be the ghost of an old prison warden or executioner coming back inside the building?
They see a little boy once reported seeing soldiers in red coats that he was talking to. We have poltergeist activity, things moving. We had a police museum in there, and one night, about 3 in the morning, a dummy of a policeman in uniform, a modern police uniform, been there for 5 years in the same spot. Doors locked, building, and on CCTV, watch the dummy sway twice, and the third time, crash to the floor. Kit going everywhere, helmet rolling, all on camera. Impossible. It isn't because it happened, but absolutely impossible. But probably the best one, of course, all is me. I saw a ghost in here at 3:20 on a Friday afternoon. broad daylight. It was the last November, it was the last Friday in November, about 15 years ago at least. I was on the phone I was on the phone to a guy from Derby City Council as I watched a figure, a grey haze, not male, not female, not dressed. A grey, if I've said it once, I must have said it 10,000 times. It was a grey haze, dense grey haze, the shape of a person. It glided past this cut-out window that I have where the kitchen is while I stood on the phone, not corner of the eye, staring straight at it. And I must have seen it for at least 4 seconds. I couldn't see through it, couldn't see the wall. It was dense, but I sensed it, but I also saw it as well, obviously. It bothered me. It bothered me a lot. I said to the guy, I knew the guy luckily, I said, Darren, I've just seen a ghost. He said, oh, for God's sake, mate. I said, I'm not kidding. I'm just hang on 1 minute. And I did what most people do when they see ghosts. Reality kicks in. Yeah, we're not open, but someone's come in. So I put the phone down and stuck my head round the front of the counter, looking into the darkness, actually, of the corridor, expecting someone to be there, shouting, excuse me, expecting there to be someone there. And of course, there wasn't. That is when the hair stood up on the back of my neck. I went back onto the phone and I said, Darren, mate, I hope you don't mind, but I may well stay on the phone a little longer than we'd anticipated. And he said, I'm sorry, Richard, I don't understand. I said, I'll explain it to you, shall I? When I put this phone down, mate, I'm on my own. While I've got you on the phone, I've got someone to talk to. And we chatted for a while. I felt a bit of a wuss. So I said, well, I'm going to have to go and let you go. He said, well, I've got work to do, you know. I said, yeah, okay. So I put the phone down and then I thought, oh my God, I've been frightened of ghosts since I was 4 years of age. This is the first ghost I've ever seen. And I've got to go, to get out of this building, I have to go up the corridor where I've just seen a ghost. It's over, by the way, that was it. I've never seen it again. Just that one day. 2 other incidents in the same corridor. A young chap that used to work for me, filling the coffee machine, saw what he believed to be the same figure, but that was stood looking at him. And my son, Ed, who isn't frightened of ghosts, doesn't believe in ghosts, was again on the phone, funnily enough, in the kitchen, but he got his back to the cutout window and he heard very heavy footsteps coming down the corridor. Turned to look, see who'd come in. Nobody there. As I just said, came to see who'd come in. Well, at that moment, he decided to go out, and he actually stood outside until another member of staff came. Too frightened to come back in, and that's the guy that doesn't believe in ghosts, by the way.
As night time fell, it was time for Richard to leave, and I was alone to spend the night in Derby Gaol. And before we start the investigation, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the Dead Air channel, and if you like this video, like it. If you don't, well done, you've made it 12 minutes in. Also follow us on our Instagram page for some behind the scenes pictures from our investigations. It's my first time in Derby, and what a way to spend the night here in the incredible Derby Gaol. I've wanted to come here for many years, and finally, 2021, this is the chance. Let's get inside and let's see what really haunts what is supposedly in the top 10 of Britain's most haunted buildings. So we're going in the main entrance, you can see there, Derby Gaol, 1756 AD. Let's have a little walk inside. Have a little wander around. I want to show you some of the cells in this place, some of what you can see if you come here, because today this place is a museum. You can come and have a little look. By the way, you're going to hear something that's going to go off quite a bit. We have a little motion sensor down here, and it is lit up. You can see it's lit up. That's obviously not emitting any light to the naked eye. You're only seeing that through infrared. But it's not lighting up. I just see some little red dots. You obviously can see quite a few. Well, it's quite a bright light. But that's going to let us know if anything walks past it. But interestingly, we saw Richard Felix talking earlier on, the legend that is Richard Felix, about an apparition he saw
in this small corridor, he said it was a grey-like figure, like a mist-like figure, but it was completely solid. It wasn't transparent, but it is set so that if anything walks along here, it will trigger our little friend off just in here. Let's take you for a little trip. I want to show you the murder room. Oh yeah, there's a few mannequins as well. Remember in Derby Gaol, bumped into a few little friends. They might set off some of our equipment. The SLS camera might pick these up, and what a face that is. Yeah. I'm going to show you the murder room. We have here a real life skeleton. That is actually a human skeleton, real. It's not plastic, it's not something you find in your science lab at school. That is a real human skeleton. Doesn't look very tall either. That probably comes up to my chin. So maybe it's a small human. Look at that. You can even see the head where it's been sawn, the brain's been taken out. Richard talked about dissection. This is just a little model showing you how things were done. An original door as well. Original door with, you can see it really well on infrared. The graffiti, we're going to see a lot of that tonight. A lot of that. Up at the top there you can see the name W. These W signs, by the way, aren't W's, they're double V's. It's a witchcraft sign. They were very superstitious. They were very superstitious. They didn't want any evil coming into their cell. Why did they believe that this prison was haunted while it was a prison in the 18th and 19th centuries? Who knows? Let's go into some cells. Condemned man's cell. Now this is notorious. You've seen that episode of Most Haunted where the crucifix and the piece of paper, and there's a locked off camera in here. Unfortunately, when they set it up, it wasn't done so that you could see the whole room. It was quite close up, so you couldn't see if there was, what was pulling it, but it was right here. This is it. Poltergeist activity in here. Got a few props in here too. This is it. This is where you would spend your final night on Earth if you were to die in this, outside of this prison. Imagine that. You wouldn't sleep, would you? We're coming back in here, so we'll chat a little bit more about it. Let's show you some of the other cells. I'll show you some of the graffiti as well. We'll go through that, and you can see one of the things I think is incredible is how neat. Look at that. You couldn't write that on paper neater than that. And this is original. These are the... Hang on. Hello? Hello? Somebody with me? Somebody with me that set this motion? I couldn't have set that off. I was over here. I was over here looking at this door, and that went off. Now, could this be my infrared light is messing with that infrared light? I don't know. Has an insect crawled or flown in front of it? I don't know. We'll test this out. We'll test this out because that's interesting. I'll show you through here. This is an area we do get paranormal activity. We've got a candle here. Our fire is just about to, well, it's just embers at the minute. A man, soldier in a red jacket, often gets seen sitting at that table straight ahead where the candle is, just in this corner. Who is he? Is he a soldier? What is his link to Derby Gaol? What is his link? And then home base. This is where I'm setting up all my equipment tonight. A lot of these cells are These are all the people, by the way, on the wall. The people who were here. And a little bit of information about them. Original press cuttings at the time. Penny dreadfuls, they were called. Another cell that's been knocked through, and now got a couple of tables. I just want to know if my infrared light is interfering with that motion sensor. If it isn't, we're onto something. If it isn't, it clearly isn't. I'm shining it. I have to go right in front of it. You've got to stand right in front of it. Something has set that off. Something has set that off. In Derby Gaol tonight.
A motion sensor that is already being triggered. Does this mean I'm not alone in Derby Gaol? I take a seat in the prisoner's day room.
You rejoin me. We've taken night vision off just for a minute or two. I just want to show you what I see. I've obviously got this candle right here in front of me. We're going to do a little vigil in here tonight in absolute complete darkness. In a room where families would come and meet their beloved before they would be taken outside and hung and executed. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine having to say goodbye to someone who you loved, whether it was a father, you were going to raise children without a father? You can't imagine it. Imagine saying goodbye to someone you really loved. And it's bad enough if it was natural causes. People go and see loved ones die in hospitals, but can you imagine it when that person doesn't need to die? They've just been accused of a crime. It could be something as petty as stealing a sheep or setting fire to haystacks. Things that today we look at and think you'd probably just get a caution off the police for. But let's see what we can get tonight. I'm going to start with a little EMF meter, which we've done a sweep of the building, and there's no unusual spikes anywhere. So I just ask if there's any spirit in this room. I'm going to introduce myself. You can call me Rob. I've come here to be friends with you. I'm just going to be here to chat with you, really. Just want to get to know you a little bit. Find out a bit about who you are, what you're doing here, why you're still here. It would be great to hear your voice, great to see you. If you would like to communicate with me, you can do so. This box, by the way, if you put all your energy into it, you can light it up. It does this. I'll put it over here so you can see it. If you can put your hand through it, maybe put some energy through it, we can see it, I'll be able to know that you're there. If you can make a tap or a bang or just anything, just make your presence known so that I know that I'm talking to someone. Is there any spirit people in here? Part of Derby Gaol. You were kept here. Were you in charge here? Did you run this place? Was this yours? This felt like it moved. Hang on. I'm going to show you with the candle. This bench felt like it moved, like someone sat beside me. I felt it move under me. Okay. Let's quickly go to night vision.
I can feel the bench move as if somebody is sitting down, and you can also hear a creak as well.
This felt like it moved. Hang on. I'm going to show you with the candle. This bench felt like it moved, like someone sat beside me. Were you in charge here? Did you run this place? Was this yours? This felt like it moved. Hang on. I'm going to show you with the candle. This bench felt like it moved, like someone sat beside me. Okay. I felt the weight of this bench move. I wasn't moving at the time. It's almost as if someone is sat beside me. I'm going to put this on here. Spirit, is that you? Can you light up my EMF meter? Touch the grey box. Do you wear a red coat? A lot of people have seen a man in this room sitting in the corner table there, next to the window. They say that you wear a red coat. If so, who are you? What is your name? I'm sure I just saw an orb. Straight ahead. Well, on the right hand side where that table is, directly above, next to the candle. If that was you, thank you. If so, who are you? What is your name? I'm sure I just saw an orb. You sit over there, and I would love to know, I'd love to just chat to you. If you can communicate with me. Okay, I'm just doing a quick session. We are here to see if anyone can speak to me. I'm just going to use a spirit portal device to try and see if we can get any voices coming through here tonight. So I'm going to start, before we press start on the button, if you can just clearly state your name. Who are you? Let's turn the volume of this down. What is your name? Do you haunt this prison? Speak to me. Were you executed in here? Yes or no? Were you executed outside? Did you work here? Is your name Blythe? I said no. Were you kept here as a prisoner? I think it's trying to say yeah. No. Are you from Derby? Did you commit a crime and get locked up in this prison? In this jail?
With motion sensors being triggered and a definite feeling of a presence in the building, I decide to get out the SLS camera. Okay guys, I'm going to give the SLS camera a quick spin around this place, see if we can capture anything, any stick figures in here. Let's have a little look. You're going to see this through the infrared. This is obviously a light that's invisible to the naked eye, but you'll see it through infrared, because what this camera is doing, it is firing thousands of small infrared lights, and it's mapping a 3D picture. So let me just put my torch on so I can see where I'm going. Okay. If there's any spirit in here, I would love to see you. This is the exact place where Richard saw something earlier. I've set the motion sensor off. That's good. It works. If you are here, I'd like to be able to see you through the SLS camera. This is a part where you've been seen. Richard has seen you in here. Can you stand in front of me? I'm going to see if we can see the man who appears as a soldier wearing a red coat, who sits in this corner. Now, as you can see, the SLS camera does mirror the image, it flips it, so you're seeing it left to right, right to left. So this is the same bench that I was looking at earlier on tonight. You're obviously seeing it back to front. Are you sitting there? Can you show yourself? Is there any spirits in here tonight? In Derby Gaol. Now, we do expect this thing to pick up the mannequins. We've got actual death masks on here of 3 people who were executed. Is anybody in this cell? It's not mapping the mannequin. Nobody doesn't recognise her as a human. Let's see if we can get anything in the condemned man's cell. Is there any spirits in here? Please stand in front of me so I can see you. If there's anybody in here, please show yourself. Oh, we've got somebody to the left, to the left. Who are you? Who are you? Can you wave at me? For those who can't see, we are looking at a blank wall, but it is mapped in. Somebody. Who are you? Is your name William Rose? Did you die in here? Mapping someone. The SLS camera detects a figure standing in front of the cell wall. This is a flat surface that the 3D scanning software is looking at. and therefore cannot be tricked into thinking anything else is a human form, such as another object or a mannequin. Then the figure appears to be suspended, as if in midair, as if it is hanging, its hands restrained and its legs are kicking, and its head has suddenly become missing. Is this someone who was once executed after spending their final night on Earth between these very walls? I decide to do a vigil in the condemned man's cell.
The SLS camera, it was mapping a few stick figures against the wall. We're going to go inside the condemned man's cell, see if we can really make contact. Tonight, we want to try and get in touch with William Rose. Remember, it was on this day he was executed. Let's have a look. Where is it? Here we go. I'm in complete and utter darkness in here. How far can I shut it without dropping my hand? Is it going to swing open again? No, it's not. Right, let me see where I can sit. So, EMF meter. We'll put you on the floor. For now, can you imagine, guys, what it would have been like knowing that you're going to be, first of all, knowing that execution is going to be something that's going to happen to you in the next few hours, and then you just be taken on the day of your execution and you would have been brought into this very small cell. It would have been horrible. And one thing I often think about is, would you even sleep before the night before your execution? Could you go to sleep? If you were knowing that in the matter of the next morning you were going to have your neck stretched, you were going to be killed and dissected, I don't think you would sleep. I don't think you could just doze off. Can you imagine the worry that would go through someone's head, the fear, knowing that you weren't going to even get to heaven, you weren't even going to make it that far, you were going to be a goner. And that's what they were frightened of. They thought that they were going to go to heaven, but they didn't. But they were dissected. They weren't given a proper Christian burial, and that was what really was the bad thing about it. They were going to either go to hell, which they obviously didn't want to do, or they could remain on this plane, on this earth. Am I catching orbs? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? I heard a tap outside. I need to fully investigate this. Hang on, I've got cables all over. Hello? Is anybody with me? Apart from you? Where are you? We heard you. We heard you. You made a tap. I didn't hear the motion sensor go off. It's gone chilly in here. It has gone chilly. It has gone chilly in here. Can you set the motion sensor off? Can you walk in front of it? You're not in here. Who are you? I heard you. Don't be fooled, it's just a mannequin. I heard you. I did hear you. It's got to be me doing it. It's got to be me doing it. Did you walk down here?
I can hear footsteps in the building, but the doors are locked and nobody else can enter.
They were going to either go to hell, which they obviously didn't want to do, or they could remain on this plane, on this earth. Am I catching orbs? Did you hear that? They were going to either go to hell, which they obviously didn't want to do, or they could remain on this plane, on this earth. Am I catching orbs? Did you hear that? They were going to either go to hell, which they obviously didn't want to do, or they could remain on this plane, on this earth. Am I catching orbs? Did you hear that? And do you know what's really hard to believe is that every single graffitied name on here was someone who stayed in this cell up until the day they died, the morning that they died. It's hard to believe that these names, these dates, 1818, and look how they've done it. You couldn't write it that neat. Someone gave me a knife and said, "Go on, Rob, carve your name into this wooden door." It would be a mess. It would look terrible. But these people did this just before they died. It's incredible. What's even more incredible, they had knives. They had knives in here as well. Which means if they had knives to be able to carve their name into doors, what else were those knives used for? I would imagine there would have been a lot of violence in places like this. You know what prisons are like for fights in modern day? Would it have been like that in the 1700s? Of course it would have been. There would have been stabbings, murders. And they weren't bothered. They weren't getting out. Let's see if we can get some EMF action. Since we get a lot of activity in this cell. Spirit, go towards that grey box I've just put down on the side there, next to the cross. If you're here with me tonight, put your energy into it. Make it flash. Make it light up. Should we get the portal open? And we'll see if we can make contact. Someone in this condemned cell. Should we do it? Let's go. Say your name, please. Who are you? Did you make a tap? Were you walking around before? Were you executed? Say your name loud and clear. How many of them are you? How many people are there? 9. Are you frightened to move on? Yes. Were you executed outside of this building? Say your name very clearly. Guilty. Guilty. Say my name. My name is Rob. Say my name. No. Speak loud and clearly. Say up. Let's turn this off because it's not making much sense. I saw an orb. Is that you? Please, can you make a tap or a bang? Speak loud and clearly. Say up. Okay, I'm using the thermal imager. You can get a nice thermal image shot. We are going to set the motion sensor off, but I just want to see what's causing that cold spot in there, in the condemned man's cell. There we go. I actually can't see where I'm going. Where's the door? There it is. I got a cold spot in here. I got a cold spot. By the way, that clicking sound is just the thermal imaging camera refocusing. It has to go like that. Is anybody in here? We heard you. Did you spend your final night on Earth in here? What had you done? Which law of this land had you broken when you spent your final night in here to be executed hours later? What had you done? Okay, let's do this. Let's have a little vigil in the dark, just with this candle that I've got here. So any spirits in here tonight that just want to come and let me know that you're with me in this cell. Make a tap or a bang. If you can blow this candle out, EMF meter. EMF meter is going. Can you see that? I'm not touching it. Nothing in me. If that was you, can you light it right up? This is the spirit box, but I'm not having it anywhere near. EMF meter was on 2 lights. If that was you, do it again. It won't be this. It's not even switched on. If that was you, spirit, please come. Need to be documenting this closer up. I don't know if you can see that. Just take it off the tripod. You need to be seeing this. Spirit, if that was you, please do that again. Oh, we've got orb. What on earth? Oh, it's a lens flare. I think that's a lens flare. This is coming off the candle there. I didn't recognise the orange glow. Spirit, if that was you, please come and light this EMF meter up. Can you blow the candle out? I just want to point out, I don't know if you could see it, I'm sat here, the camera was up there on the tripod, a second EMF light was flickering. It shouldn't be, there's nothing in here, it's a bricked up cell. There's nothing, no props lying around. There it goes. There we go. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Go on, put all your energy through it. Go on. Go on, go for it. Go for it. Go on. Go on. Go on. Keep going. And step back away now. Go back. Go back. Leave it. Leave it. I don't know what's doing that. Scientifically, I don't know what's doing that. It's getting an electromagnetic field, something charged up with what's it doing? It's flickering. I'm not even holding a mobile phone on me. My phone is through there with my bag, and I'm getting that. I'm standing away from it. Look, I'm standing absolutely away from it, and here we go. Here we go. I love the EMF results. That is a spirit box beside it, but it's switched off. And we're getting a flickering. We're getting a flickering. That's good. That's really nice. And you've stopped. You've stopped. You're in a motorbike going past outside. That's normal. That's normal. That is normal. Wow. Wow. And again, I'm going to put night vision on. There we go. We have a night vision so you can see nothing is switched on. There's no cables under there, I don't think. No, there's not. There's nothing electrical around here. There's nothing electrical around here. There's this in the corner, but it's nothing switched on. It's not getting any readings. But for some reason that is producing. I'm going to move it. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to pick it up so you can see it. So you can see it. Are we getting anything? Let me turn night vision off. There we go. You can see we're down to 1, but when you go down here, there's nothing. Remember this bed, that's not even switched on, look. Remember this bed was where people used to sleep the night before they were executed. And look, I'm bringing it over here to this wall. Oh, we're getting some over there. We are getting a little bit of electric interference over there by the far wall. Okay, spirit, tell me your name. Spirit, what is your name? Can you talk to me?
I caught no EVPs on the SB7 Spirit Box. With it being the early hours of the morning, I was starting to get tired and I was going to give this place one last walk around.
Okay, last chance. Last chance. Can you show yourself? Make yourself visible, make yourself known. With a tap or a bang. Are you one of these people? Are any of these people still in here? Mugshots, early mugshots. Imagine bumping into that fellow. What a nice face. Richard Felix. I've said it off again. Richard Felix was on the phone to a man from Derby Council, just standing over here, when he saw a grey figure walk along here, in this direction. Now, when a prisoner was to be executed, they would be taken from this cell along here, and then up here. This was where you would go. This is the death walk to the gallows. And through a door that would have been roughly where this was. Can you show yourself, please? Show yourself. I also wanted to show you this prison. I keep calling it a prison. It's not a prison, it's a jail. It's a jail. It used to go much further. Behind this wall. It went into the next building along, the next property along, and so on, and so on. There were cells just like this. Cells just like this. Let's go into the murder room. Which of course would have been a cell. Somebody's cell. It's this graffiti that I'm fascinated in. Every single person who carved their name into this door was executed. Two brothers committed suicide by hanging in this cell. Did you die in this cell? Did you commit suicide in here? Did you hang yourself because you just could not face going to the gallows the next day? I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I would have been terrified. I wouldn't want to go to the gallows. Quick, 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 quick. Hello? Hello? That was me, that was me. I heard you. I heard you. It's coming from in here. Is there any spirit people with me? I heard you. Where did you go? That's the second time. Where did you go? Where did you go? Who are you? Are you the man who walks up and down here? Make that noise again, please. Maybe you're in this cell. Maybe you're in this cell. Excuse the beautiful mannequin. Did anyone have to suffer in this. Oh, look at those chains and walls. Who was in here? Was anybody locked in this cell? What was your crime? You show yourself. I heard you. Over here. I heard it. Let's do a walk to the gallows. You imagine. You wake up. You probably didn't even go to sleep. You know it's morning because you'll see the sunlight. Probably the daylight would somehow get in here. I don't think it would actually. This thing doesn't even have a window. But you would know somehow it was morning. And then this door would open. And there was nowhere to go other than along here. Along here. You were taken through here to the left. Your death was up here. Can you imagine the fear? Imagine it. You can't because until it's in your, until it's you can't imagine what it's like to walk to your death like this. You just can't do it. You can't do it. Imagine what it feels like. Imagine what it feels like. I'm starting to get sick of that. Imagine what it feels like to know that you're bound to die in front of maybe 40,000 people, I've been told, would turn up to watch these executions in Derby. This was before football. The local football team doesn't even get that these days, so this was their main form of entertainment. Well, spirits of Derby Gaol, thank you for letting me in and come and talk to you tonight. Bless you. I mean you peace. I simply just wanted to come and just see you. But it has been a pleasure to come here tonight because this is a world famous jail. People around the world know Derby Gaol. And to be able to do an investigation in here tonight, it's been something I'm glad I've done. Well, I'm going to retire to bed. If that wakes me up during the night, I will jump out of my skin. But tonight, I'm going to make my bed. My sleeping bag is coming into this room.
I was so tired after a long day of driving and investigating that I fell asleep almost straight away and had quite a peaceful night. I had some great encounters. The feeling of someone sitting beside me.
Did you run this place? Was this yours? This felt like it moved. Hang on. I'm going to show you it with the candle. This bench felt like it moved, like someone sat beside me.
A figure caught hanging on the SLS camera, which I later found out 2 brothers hanged themselves in the condemned man's cell to avoid execution the following morning. And of course, the motion sensor that activated itself. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to the Dead Air channel, where there's a lot more content on there.